Hi, good morning, everybody. We are here at No Bones About It, Puppy Day School. Today, Chloe is going to be working on introducing nice leash manners. And there are a lot of ways to go about teaching leash manners. But the one thing that I want to discuss really quickly while she's sort of warming up with Willow is the fact that your puppy wants to say hi probably to every single dog. Or maybe if you're Lander might be reactive to other dogs on leash. And the other problem is that everybody loves to say hi to a puppy. So what happens is the expectation on a dog's side is that they assume every single person and every single dog they're going to say hello to. And in the beginning, a lot of times we let that happen and they get so much reinforcement that they are immediately, from the day we start taking them out on leash, conditioned to assume that they are going to see all these people and all these dogs. I, on the other hand, would like to train my dog to assume the opposite, that we are going to go ahead and walk by every person and every dog. And there might be exceptions where I say, go stop and tell them, okay, you can go say hi. But that's my decision, not my puppy's decision. So we're going to work a lot in the beginning on A, not pulling on your leash, but B, learning to walk by distractions. And what does that look like? So, Chloe, do you want to work on a few different techniques and maybe describe what you're doing?
Yeah, so the first thing is more than anything else is you want to make sure you have the dog's attention when you are working on loose leash walking. And when you're out in the world working on this, you're obviously not going to do it for your entire walk. I usually advise clients to just pick a short distance between 2 points, so like between 2 light posts, and work on the attention seeking, or just even kind of getting them into a side sit, which I'll show you in a second, and then taking one step, asking them to sit again to just retain that connection and attention from your dog, and then continue on your sniffing walks where they're being puppies and smelling their environment and that sort of stuff, because that is just as important and mentally exhausting for them. So the first thing is sort of getting the dog to switch their orientation. They're often working in front of us, looking at us, and when we're walking, we're obviously looking the same direction. So I usually just swivel the dog so that we're facing the same way. Keep your leash super loose and happy in a J shape. So you bring them back around and right at your side, and just reward here for attention anytime that they look up at you. They can be in a sit. Oh man, you're good.
He's such a good girl. So,
Yeah.
Everybody has different techniques that they use, and I refer to this, and I'll probably do some videos as well, as another one of our foundation games that I call Reward Zone. So I call Reward Zone your dog sitting at your side, just like Willow's doing right now, facing the same direction, and getting lots of rewards for that upwards glance and attention. And so that kind of teaches my puppy to really focus on me when we are moving forward, and we start in that stationary version and then move into a few steps and walking.
So notice that when I took a step, she immediately swiveled back in front of me. That's because this is where her history is, right, of knowing that she's going to get a treat. So each time we'll just have to reset her to be at the side, either standing or sitting, to just sort of reset the expectation that, hey, this is where we want you to be. You're getting a little tangled.
It's also really important that you guys use, you've got to utilize your food and your luring to get those dogs to want to stay in those positions. You can't just say sit, because a lot of times the dog will pivot in front. You're really going to have to use your treats in order to kind of lure that dog into positions that you want, which is sort of right now exactly like that little scoopy thing you do behind you and then moving up to the sit in the front. So let's go ahead and switch dogs so we can maybe do a couple different versions of things we can work on.
Just a little puff puffball.
Woo, puffball. Okay, so now we have switched out and we have Gus here, and Gus is at a totally different age and training stage than Willow. So we are going to be doing a little bit more basic stuff that you can start introducing, and I'll let Chloe take that over.
So the first thing that we want to do is kind of building on the attention that we started with Willow with the side sit, but one of the most important things is hand targeting, and all that is just presenting your palm, and he naturally is interested, so he bumps it, and then you reward yes with your treat. So present your palm, yes, treat. And this is just orienting him back to you, and we're stationary now, but eventually you can start adding some movement, yes, treat. And then you can do 2 targets, yes. And you're just trying to keep him in that reward zone, right? All good things happen when you're close to mom or dad when you're walking, right? So target, yes. And you are walking backwards and the dog is walking forwards. Obviously, you default sitting, right? And eventually what you can do is you can start walking into the dog and hand target down to the side and see how he's already in leash walking position. He's pivoting back to the front. That's totally normal. Again, that's where his reinforcement history is. You know, treats come when I'm in front of mom or dad. But he's still so young that we'll work on kind of getting his tush to pivot to the side later. So right now we're just really kind of building up. Great things happen when you stay close to me, followed by treats, lots of hand targeting. Come on. Yay! Good job.
So, I'm just going to interrupt here and say these are the kinds of things where at this stage of the game, and really with any of these guys, we practice this like we would practice a down or a mat work. We practice this not when we're, quote, going for a walk. That, you know, we really want to build the skill and the value of these exercises where there's the least amount of distraction. And that is we do a lot of training up here in my carport area. We do stuff down on the deck. I work on these exercises just around my living room and the kitchen. And I just do little paths where I grab some kibble and we walk around, and I have the dog maybe, you know, put the leash on just so they get used to that feeling. But concentrate on doing these things not when you're necessarily on a walk. And then we can build into that as they get better. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting.
You're so cute.
So cute.
Oh, wow.
I'm also going to point out that you know, when we're working with these puppies, you've probably noticed over the course of however many weeks your dog has been here that a lot of stuff we do is really silent. There's not a lot of words that we're saying. We're not telling the dog no when they don't do what we're looking for. We don't give them tons of cues. We really work on building a skill while without a lot of verbiage. And okay, I'm just going to comment. There we go. I'm going to just comment on what sort of happened there, where Chloe was trying to work on a hand target and the dog was just glued to her face. And she offered it, didn't get the right response, put it away, put her hand away, offered it again, didn't get the right response, put her hand away again. So that's sort of what we want to work towards, is if we can't get the right thing, again, back to what I was saying, which is that we didn't, we don't tell them, no, that's not what I'm looking for. We don't keep cueing the words that we want. We just, we offer the handout, and if we don't get the right response, we put it away and we try again, or we make it easier somehow, maybe by adding a little movement.